these pilots, these are the pilots, they're 21. This guy is 22.
That's your crew. Yeah, you guys were young. Where are you in that picture? Oh, you're on the front.
Yeah.
What was the name of your plane that day?
Well, this one is, I'll show you. Here, Liberty.
Liberty? Oh, wow.
Liberty Run. But I flew, the plane I flew most of my missions was Dear Mom, M-O-M,
Uh-huh.
Dear Mom. And we finally, I can look it up, but the last mission, we were so shot up it never flew again.
Really? Wow. From the damage from the flak?
Yeah.
And you were hit by planes? Didn't you say you saw a jet and everything?
Well,
Fighter planes?
to that. Here's a direct hit. The bombardier lived and the navigator behind him was killed.
Wow.
That was all flak. Took that whole thing out of there.
That wasn't your plane?
No.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh,
And it continued to fly afterward?
Yeah,
Wow.
came home.
That's a tough airplane then.
Yeah. But now, when we took off for that terrible mission to Dresden,
Yeah.
we killed 50,000 people. That's the final figure today.
Yeah.
And I took off 13th plane, and the 15th and the 17th plane crashed on takeoff.
Uh-huh.
Here's the engine and tail of the plane that crashed in our barracks.
Wow.
Here's part of our barracks.
It's all destroyed.
There's an engine.
Holy cow. Even the engines went flying around?
Yeah. Well,
So the plane just come
had
apart.
all the bombs on board
Uh-huh.
and 2,700 gallons of fuel.
Wow. That's a lot of
this
explosive
is-
power.
My buddy was sleeping in the barracks and was killed. Never flew a mission.
Oh, man. That's
He was
terrible.
an engineer, like me. We went, and here's Schweinfurt, and this was early in the, 16 planes were dispatched.
Mm-hmm.
Lost 13. We lost 130 men out of 160.
Wow. Were you on that mission?
No.
That was earlier?
Thank God.
Okay.
But I wanted to show you how our formations were very tight. They don't look tight, but it's tight.
Yeah. So you were supposed to learn how to fly right next to each other for protection against the
You practiced in the States, and when you got over, we got 2 weeks of everything before we started flying combat.
Mm-hmm. And that was a big deal with LeMay. Curtis LeMay
Oh,
wanted real tight
he's
formations.
the one that came up with the box formation.
Yeah. It was his invention?
He took our bomb group over.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is 2 planes coming back from a mission.
Mhm.
Blew up right above the base.
Wow. Did they run into each other or something? Or?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you see that when that happened, or
No.
you just had a
No.
picture of it?
Uh,
Could you pull that one out about the concentration camp oven? You had a picture of that. It said 2 people went in each one of these things.
Each one.
Wow. And that's
And
Buchenwald.
there was vats of bone.
Yeah. Jesus.
There was a lot of stuff I didn't get a picture of because I was using somebody else's camera. I didn't have one.
Yeah.
And they were with me and they take pictures.
Did you keep pictures from that visit, or did the camera go back to somebody else? I mean, do you have pictures from your visit to Buchenwald?
No, not, I had a complete detailed book made up on Buchenwald.
Yeah.
And it was in my mother's attic. And when she died, I tried to find a book. I know I had a cousin that had a woman that had a key to the house.
She might have taken it or
She
had it. Or, yeah,
stole the book.
yeah. Those things happen. You know, I know other people that
It
did.
was all the detail.
Yeah.
Now this is what I was talking about. The
That's the 262 jet, German
yeah,
jet.
yeah. This is a picture of his jet.
Uh-huh.
And the towering tight. See, we came home from the we'd had a week's rest, and we came home at 11 o'clock, and then we were supposed to fly this mission that this plane, Towering Titan, replaced us.
So it's flying the mission, and you would have been doing the same
Yeah.
position and everything
And
else.
the German attacked our squadron, this guy, and he lived. He bailed out of his plane, and his plane rammed this plane and blew it up. Or actually didn't blow it up, knocked it down, and it came down in Germany. These are the pictures of this plane 23 feet below the ground. They dug it up.
Wow. So when it hit, it went.
I got letters from the guy. Here's some more on it. I got letters from the guy writing to me, and that's my letter to him.
Was this the German, or was that somebody else? Somebody that.
This is
moved
a
over there?
young German after the war.
Okay.
He decided, he thought I flew the mission, and I wrote back and told him I didn't.
You had
fly
lucked
the
out.
mission. Yeah, but he told me I talked to him also on telephone. I called him over in Germany.
Was he doing the excavation on the airplane?
Yeah,
Okay.
he said it was 23 feet down.
Wow. That's really a
But-
lot of force to do
But
that.
anyway, this is the stuff. So, and this was the crew of this plane.
Mhm.
And this is the plane flying.
Okay. Wow.
And this is where they
That's the location of the
bombed
accident.
Dresden. That's,
Oh.
Yeah, that's the accident. And
Now, Dresden at the time was even a controversial mission, wasn't
Yes,
it? I mean,
yes.
like Winston
Yeah.
Churchill, and there was a big controversy over
Right.
whether we should have been
Yeah.
using our
here's
Air Force that way.
my plane dropping planes.
Is your airplane in that picture? Or that's just a 305th?
This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
This is they were bombing this target.
Okay. And what's the town again?
Dresden.
Oh, okay.
And this is this colonel wrote, why had Army Air Force officials alerted the Germans to this massive flying fortress bomb raid? There was a plane, I forget how many shot down, but this was the Pilsen, Czechoslovakia, Skoda Iron Works, 40,000 prisoners, and we told we were coming. They brought more flak and crap, but gave us hell.
So let me make sure I got this understood right. So there's a lot of prisoners of war there. So we gave notice before the mission occurred that you were coming, and so they loaded up with flak and everything else. And so you had a lot more
This colonel
casualties.
wanted to know, why did we do that?
Yeah. And it was kind of a humanitarian, we were caring about the prisoners of war not getting
All
killed.
those people that were, you know, in there working,
Did they leave, they got out before the mission
I
then, or?
don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know
I
up in the
don't
airplane.
think they did. There must have been a lot of them killed because the colonel, he was writing this article, it mattered, yeah.
Well, they probably, if they knew you were coming, probably got people out. Of course, maybe the Germans didn't care, you know, they're prisoners. So.
Yeah. Now, this is about my article in the Air Force Historical Society, my Bob group.
Oh, okay.
Their top secret Disney Bob.
Oh, yeah, that was a very unusual couple or set of missions you had.
Yep. So there's Jim.
Oh, yeah, he was in the 100th. Now, can I get a close-up of this picture here, the one of the excavation of the, those are nice, they're color pictures too. So this must have been fairly recently, I assume, that they did the excavation?
Yeah, because, what's this big heavy-set guy that comes once in a while? Randy.
Yeah, sure.
Randy,
Randy Penrod.
Randy got the information, I don't know if it was on what it was on, but then it was that I contacted. I have a letter, copy of the letter.
Oh, here's the guy. Is this his picture?
This is the guy that,
Yeah, that's where the Towering Titan crashed. Huh. Have you ever been back there?
no.
Did you ever go
I've
back
never
to
back
England or anything?
any place because I'm not, this is more.
Oh yeah, here's some of the debris they excavated from the
Here's
airplane.
where I wrote and said I'm sorry to be, anyway, I told him I did not fly the mission.
Yeah. Well, it would be an easy mistake to make because you were slotted to originally go.
See, he had done, when he wrote to me, he had dug this up and I contacted him back. I talked to him on the telephone.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can take whatever you want here.
Well, I got a question then. So was the Dresden raid anything that I mean, that was controversial at the highest levels, but was it controversial where you were aware of it at the time?
No.
I mean, you kind of learned a lot of this stuff later, what we were doing and.
No. You know, we're just doing a job.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We're flying.
Yeah. It's your job to deliver the bombs and.
See, the pilots get briefed. The gunners get briefed, the radio operator gets briefed. Everybody's briefed before the mission.
Yeah.
But all you know is you're flying. They just told us we're flying to Dresden.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't know too much
Yeah.
till after you do the job.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things where they're still making documentaries where they're arguing back and forth, and at the time they were arguing back and forth because the Americans were saying, well, we were going to do precision daylight bombing of military targets, and I know I've interviewed other people with our group who still are bothered by the fact that we were bombing the civilians, in Germany, but as an air crew, you're just doing what you're told basically to do, which is to fly the mission and deliver the bombs to the target that they select. But
if we hadn't have done that, the damn war would still be going.
Yeah.
The Germans would probably be running the show.
Well, they were predatory, aggressive.
Yeah.
They didn't care about people, you know.
No,
And it
they
was,
killed.
yeah,
Look at all the millions that they killed in the ovens and
yeah.
shot them and dropped them into ditches.
Anybody they didn't care about was just could have been killed, you know. They killed all kinds of different groups of people. And their original target was 12 million Jews. They killed over 6 million, I think, but
Yeah.
it's just an appalling thing that had to be stopped at the time.
I never bother people.
Was this your own notebook, or?
Yeah,
Oh, so you kept notes at the time?
when I came back.
Yeah. Really?
Now, there's the Dresden.
Yeah. What did you say about that?
Oh, that's one of the planes. The plane that crashed at our barracks crashed in the site, demolished all the barracks. What a mess. Another crashed near Dresden. Most of the damage was due to the bombs going off. 9 men dead from the ships. That's our plane. That where they came into my barracks.
Mm-hmm.
Roberts died a week later, and I went to his funeral. We had
It was a week before he died?
yeah,
Wow.
there was 130 buried at the funeral. I went to it, and they had a trench, and they had all these wooden boxes down along, and they said their prayers, and the ministers, and then we left. And of course, the workmen put all
Mhm. So there were so many casualties, they were using a,
130
yeah, that's a
coffins,
lot of caskets.
130 coffins.
Yeah.
This is the cemetery. I guess I can't remember. This is a very well known.
There's a Mattingly Cemetery today. It's
Yeah.
near Cambridge, but I don't know that
Well,
would have been
this-
the cemetery.
That's probably the cemetery, because the cemetery was near Cambridge
Okay.
that I went to.
Yeah, I think I got the name right, but it's very beautiful today. They've really maintained that cemetery. So-
Roberts is there.
Yeah. Is this something you did? When did you write all this?
Oh, after I came home,
Okay.
I'd write in the see,
So it was the same year in '45, you think? You wrote all these notes down?
within a day after the missions.
Oh, this was right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, see, Bochum, 26,000 feet, light flak, takeoff, used all the runway. And I had the time taken off, time returning. I averaged 8 3/4 hours per mission.
Really?
Here's
Okay.
Nuremberg, 25,000 flak motor, 180 turn over the target. That means we had to go back over it again.
Oh, twice around.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had one, I don't know, here's Wettenberg, no flak, had good fighter cover, Jerry fighter, P-51 shot down, Jerry fighters shot down a B-17, and saw 6 men out of that one ship come out. 9-hour mission. I used to, the flight engineer in the top turret, you can see all these planes going down in front of you.
Really?
Other bomb groups. 'Cause,
Yeah.
boy, we all.
Well, you were up on top and had a real view towards
Yeah.
the front of the airplane.
I've flown several missions, 1,000 planes in the air.
Wow.
And this one was Würzburg. See, a lot of these places you never heard of. 13,000, Little Flak. And Flak Mile, Hamburg, 25,000 feet.
So you were on oxygen that whole
8.5.
time, once you got up that high?
When you hit the 10,000 foot, you're on oxygen.
Did you tell me a story once about how you had saved your pilot's life?
Yeah.
Tell me that story about
Well, I might find it.
Oh, okay, well, let's
This
just
is
keep going with this.
So west, here's Bolin. We lost our colonel. We lost Colonel Craig, and crew blew up on this mission right in front of me. And
You mean in the air you could see the plane blow up?
he's right in front of us.
Yeah.
He was leading our bomb group.
Uh-huh.
Here.
Was it a flak burst or something that hit the airplane?
A direct hit.
Yeah.
Here's where our navigator was wounded on this ruling. Lost 3 ships. Gelsenkirchen. See, most of them were at 25,400, 25,000 feet. 6.5 hour mission. Now that was probably by submarine pen. It might have been.
One of the Disney.
I don't know why I didn't write Disney bomb. And Castle, Flak and Tents.
Castle, Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 6.5 hour mission. And see, Oak Leaf cluster to the air medal. I flew 6 missions, and then I got the air medal. Then I flew 6 more missions. I got an Oak. They don't give you Oak Leaf. You know it yourself.
Yeah.
Every 6 missions, you got an Oak Leaf.
Oak leaf cluster, yeah.
That's why I've only got the air medal 4 times. I flew 26 missions, but I only got 4 times 6 is 24.
Yeah, yeah.
But I got a lot of medals, Craig.
Yeah, I suppose you had all kinds
Oak
of.
Leafs to them. I had about 85 points when I came home, and the more points you had, the faster. As soon as the war ended,
You were out.
shipped me
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
So
Yeah, some of the guys, especially like in the Navy, were in for sometimes a year after the war had ended because, they didn't have the points and
Yeah.
everything.
brought back part of bombs. I couldn't get the bombs out of the bomb bay. Sweated that one out because we were landing with the bomb. But I landed. One time we took off in the weather. We flew out an hour or 2. And here's shipyards, Bremen. And what happened is after anyway, we had flown away maybe 2 hours. The weather was bad, so we came home. And we got most of our gas and our bombs. When my pilot made a beautiful soft landing.
You didn't want anything to
pulled
explode.
to the end of the runway, and our right tire blew.
Wow. Huh. That could have been the end if it had
Yeah.
happened just a little bit earlier.
I'm trying to find where let's see here. Lost 3 ships. Pete Fish. Flak and Tents, Pete Fish finished up. He was when they quit using bombardiers, they called them toggleiers, the enlisted men. Dropped the bombs when the lead plane dropped. And
I think that was a Curtis LeMay innovation too.
yeah. March 19th, plowing. Today I am 20 years old, 25,000 feet, flak mile, jets attacked, about 30 in the air, take off. But it's my longest mission. We were out of gas when we landed. Engines were dying on us.
Holy cow. That was your 20th birthday?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still trying. We had lots of engines out sometime. Joe, flak suit, twice. Joe was a toggler in the nose, dropping them out. Twice, Joe got hit in the flak suit with flak, saved his life both times.
Wow.
When these guys had this stuff happen, they'd be scared. They'd be sleeping at night and screaming and hollering.
Yeah.
I had a boy laying next to me that was a prisoner, and he was back at the air base, slept next to me, and he was screaming.
He had been a prisoner in Germany and then he had
Yeah.
escaped and come back?
No, it was right after the war ended.
Oh, okay.
They released him,
Mhm.
and he was screaming,
Yeah,
sleeping next to me.
yeah.
And I tried to console him. He thought I was his girlfriend. He was out of his head.
Jeez.
I can't find. Where the hell am I? Oh, I missed it. I got one. Wait a minute. Here, went over to Target by ourselves. Unload 2 engines, superchargers out. Wow. If you don't have a supercharger, you don't stay at 25,000 feet. You're down at about 10,000 feet.
You don't have enough
We had
oxygen for the
2
engine.
engines out.
Yeah.
So, I can't understand. I miss, someplace I missed my pilot.
Well, as I
We
go
were
ahead.
on the mission,
Mhm.
and I looked down from the top turret. I could see the pilot below me, see?
Mhm.
And my pilot was slumped over. We were having trouble with the masks.
Mhm.
They would freeze up from our breath, and you didn't get any oxygen.
Mhm.
I don't know how many guys in the Air Force that probably died from not getting oxygen. But
Yeah.
my pilot was unconscious, and I always carried a big bag with extra equipment, an extra parachute, extra electric suits, everything, and 3 extra masks. I pulled his mask off, put a new one on, give him some pure oxygen. He hadn't been out long enough, and he came to. If he'd have been out, I forget how many minutes you're unconscious, about 3, and then so many more, and you're dead.
Yeah. You probably go into a coma and then die. Yeah. So you saved his
So
life.
my pilot put me in for the DFC, and the colonel didn't agree, and I didn't get it. After the war ended, a congressman found out about a radio operator pulled an engineer out of the Bombay, laying on the catwalk, his mask had plugged up and radiooperator pulled him out of there. The congressman gave this guy, after the war, the UFC.
Mhm.
But I didn't get it.
Yeah,
My
well, you
court.
were entitled to it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So anyway.
Yeah.
that's a few-
wow, that
few
is
stories.
amazing. I am so